Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hang Education, where we share the knowledge of biology. So today is the another video about the practice past paper video series. So this is for the CIE biology paper 2 multiple choice, and I will be doing for the major in 2019. So previous video, which is about for the February March 2019. So let's get started. So usually, number one question, it will be related to characteristics of living thing, where students have to basically remember about MRS, GREN, so which are the characteristics of living things. So number one, let's look at it together. So carbon dioxide diffuses into a leaf. So we can see that carbon dioxide diffusing into a leaf is for the process of photosynthesis, where the plants will perform the photosynthesis, carbon dioxide plus water, producing glucose and oxygen. So which characteristics of living thing require this? So plants taking in carbon dioxide, photosynthesis. So it's not excretion, and obviously it is not movement, and also this is not respiration. So the correct answer is nutrition. So plants making their own food, or they are making autotrophic nutrition. And second question is about the diagram show how Homo sapiens, modern people, could have evolved from earlier ancestors. So we can see a different Homo, like we can see like a different evolution from Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and up to Homo sapiens. So which statement about modern people and their ancestor is correct? So number 8, they are in the same species and same genus. No, they are not in the same genus, and they are in the same species but not the same genus. So again, this is not also, it's not making sense. And they are in the same genus, okay, same genus, and but not the same species. Okay, so this is pretty like choose one. And they are neither the same species nor the same genus. So the correct answer is they are the same genus but not the species, right? So we can see that they have a similar genus name, but they have a different species. So this would be the answer for the number 2. And for number 3, heart muscle cells have a high rate of metabolism. So we can see they have a high rate of metabolism. So which structure do they require to be present in high number? So meaning that for high metabolism, so they need to produce respiration. So respiration take place in the mitochondria. So the correct answer is B. And for number 4, most students made a mistake for this question. So which features are possessed by all plant cells? So all plant cell, meaning that all plant cells, they will have a cell wall, but not all the plant cells have chloroplast, right? If you remember about the structure of a leaf, where there is the upper epidermis, lower epidermis, even in the root hair cells, they may not contain chloroplast. So the correct answer again is B. So all the plant cells, they have cell wall, but they do not have chloroplast. And sorry for question number 5, because since I'm using the tablet and I do not have, how can I say, I cannot measure the correct one. So when you do with the paper, you can measure it, and the correct answer for this number is C. So, but I can still have a guideline for the magnification questions, right? So for the magnification, the formula magnification equal to drawing divided by actual size, right? Actual size. So in this questions, we have magnification, which is 400. So drawing will become from this length of the X and Y, right? So line X and Y will be the drawing, and we need to find the actual width. So when we want to find for the actual, we can find out by like line xy divided by 400. So sorry for this, because I do not have the paper to like measure the length of xy. So but the answer is C. So we can also find out using the paper. And number 6, for the number 6, they show a diagram, show a test tube containing a clear jelly, and when they put a drop of blue ink injected in the middle, and then the blue color of the ink spread throughout the jelly. So this is very obvious, right? So the ink Spreading out. So the questions already give you hints. So spreading out, so it will be the process of diffusion, right? From the choice given. So it should be the C. Which process describe osmosis? So osmosis obviously is about water, and they already mentioned everything is about water. So diffusion of water, it's not through cell wall, and they cannot pass through the cell wall, and it's partially permeable membrane. Okay, this is correct. And not from cell sap, not from cytoplasm. So the answer is number B. And number 8, which row shows the chemicals elements contains in fat? So as I already have a guideline for the fats and carbohydrate, it will be cho. For chon is for protein. So it have to contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and no nitrogen. So no nitrogen is only the answer A. So the answer is A. And number 9, small molecules are used as basic units in the synthesis of large food molecules, and which statement is correct? So number A, amino acids are bases of carbohydrates. No, amino acids are bases of protein. Or we can also change like, not amino acid, it can be glucose. Fatty acids are bases of glycogen. Again, no, this would be fats, or it can also be lipids. And glycerol, it's a basic unit of, well, okay, this is good. And simple sugar is the basic unit of protein. No, this is for the carbohydrate, so which is similar to A. So either you can change a simple sugar into amino acid. So the correct answer for number 9 is C. And for number 10, so it's about enzymes. So the diagram show a protease enzyme catalyzing the breaking of part of the proteins into smaller pieces, and which diagram has the 3 correct label. So we can see number A, it is okay, number 10, A, you can see that the product is round. So this is not the product. So this should be the product. So number A is not correct. For number B, product, it's round, and that the rest are correct. For number C, yes, number C is correct. So we got active site correct, enzyme correct, substrate correct. Number D, product correct, active site correct, substrate is not correct. So substrate wrong. So the correct answer for number 10 is C. For number 11, the diagram show an experiment to investigate the balance between respiration and photosynthesis. And the question asks you that in which tube are photosynthesis and respiration taking place at the same time? So it should be at the same time. So number A and B, it is covered with a black black polythene to keep out light. So for number A, since they are both dark, so both plants and the snails, they will only perform respiration. And for the test tube B is also respiration. For C, okay, it can be both photosynthesis and respiration, right? Because they get light, and plants can perform both respiration and photosynthesis. And for D, it's only snails, so it will be only respiration. So for this, the correct answer is C, right? Because it's both at the same time for the respirations and the photosynthesis. So the answer is C. For number 12, some gardeners use magnesium sulfate, so which is Epsom salt, as a fertilizer for their plants. Epsom salt release magnesium. So magnesium iron, it's needed to make chlorophyll, right? Chlorophyll. So which would this benefit? So it's prevent pests from eating. No, this is not correct. Prevent the leaf from going yellow. Okay. This is because like chlorophyll is needed for the plants to make it look green. So it's prevent leaf from going yellow, and prevent water loss. Not correct. So it's not related to water loss, and not for growth, right? Because for growth, it would be not magnesium, it would be nitrate, but then it's not for the wheat as well. So the correct answer is B. Number 13, food label, it's from a packet of cereals, and the label helps someone who is concerned about their diet. And then a person eat 45 grams of cereals. One of the food type listed can help prevent constipation. So prevent constipation, it's about fiber. So you have to look at the fiber, so which is here, fiber. And then how many grams of this food does the person eat? So in the food package label, it is about 100 grams. So meaning that in 100 gram, you got 2.8 gram of fiber. So if a person eat 45, then you have to use this 22.8 divided by 100 into 45. So the answer gives you 1.3 grams. So the answer is A. So you have to use like this. So prevent constipation. So it's about fiber. So in 100 gram of this whole package or whole cereals, it contains 2.8 gram of fiber. So if a person eats 45 gram of cereal, so 2.8 divided by 100 into 45 would give you the amount of gram that a person eat for the fiber. And for number 14, it's about cholera bacteria, bacterium-produced toxin that causes chloride ion to be secreted into the small intestine. So I usually have this diagram with my students. So this would be the small intestine, and the other side would be the, let's say, blood or capillary, blood and capillary, and then cholera bacterium that cause, okay, so from the blood, it will enter chloride ion, they will enter into the small intestine. So as you can see that, when the chloride ion get into the blood, and they ask about the water potential. So blood in the water potential, blood in capillary, right? Because since the chloride ion leave from the blood, there will be high amount of water potential. So A and B are not correct. And content of small intestine. So when there is a lot of chloride ion in the small intestine, it will the content will become concentrated, meaning that there will be a lower water potential. So the correct answer is C. And for number 15, a person eats some cheese which contain a lot of fat and protein. So it's a fats and protein, which will show the combination of substance that will digest the cheese most effectively. So we got fats and protein. So we need to think about there will be no amylase needed, right? Because amylase is for the carbohydrates. Bile, yes. Lipids, yes. Protease, yes. So the correct answer is D. So you have to choose answer D. And number 16 is about a celery stalk, and I think that that's already in my teaching lecture slide. So it will appear like a structure B, right? Where you can see blue dye, or like the blue dye will be carried by the xylem, right? So you can see that xylem will also be stained blue, and xylems are located like the diagram shown in B. And number 17, the table shows the rate of water flow through a tree over a 12-hour period. So you can see from the 7, 9, 11, 13, blah, blah, blah. And what conclusion can be drawn from the table? So you have to look at the conclusion. So number A, between 7 and 17 hours, the rate flow continuously increase. So it's a continuously increase. But when you look at the graph, it's, yes, increased up to this, and then it get decreased here. So number A is not correct. The greatest increase in the rate of flow in 2-hour periods is between 11 and 13. So you can see that from 7 to 9, it's only 20. Here also 20. And here it's about, it will be 110. And here is 50. So these are all plus, 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 plus. This will be minus 40. So this will be minus 1 something. Okay, so you can see that. So it's correct. So number B seems to correct. And number C, water does not flow up through a tree at night. No, right? Because even after like 15, 17, 19, there is still a rate of flow. So meaning that water is still going up at night as well. Water flow is affected by humidity, right? So you can see that this is not also correct, because like even with daytime and nighttime, the water flow there is there. So the correct answer is B for number 17. And for number 18, it's about translocation. So which they give you a diagram of potato tubers. And this is when the new shoots are beginning to grow. So there's already a hint given. So which statement is correct? So in this case, as I can see from the diagram, a tuber would be the source. and this chute, they will be the sink. So which statement is correct? The tuber is a sink, so this is not correct. The soil is a sink. No. The shoots are source. No. The shoots are sink. So number 18, correct answer is D, right? 18 is D. And number 9, so as we can see from the diagram, they give you three type of blood vessels, and you need to choose the correct one, and veins and the capillary. So number V is, oh, sorry, number V, or like diagram V, is artery because they have a narrower lumen. Here we got wider lumen, which is vein, and this is capillary. So they ask for veins and capillary. So for the vein, it is W, and for capillary, it is X. So the correct answer is C, right? So 19, correct answer is C. And which disease is transmissible? So transmissible means it can be passed from one person to another person. So cholera, coronary heart disease, lung cancer, scurvy. So the correct answer is cholera. It can be it can be transmitted through contaminated water, contaminated food. Number 21. The diagram illustrates changes in air pressure taking place inside the lungs during a complete circle of breathing. Atmospheric pressure is 101 kilopascal. At which point on the diagram are the ribs beginning to lower? So when we think about the ribs beginning to lower, right? So it's mean internal intercostal muscle contract. So meaning that it's pull the rib cage down and in, right? So it's mean the volume decrease, right? So it's mean volume will decrease and pressure increase. So you have to look at the point where the pressure is increasing above the atmospheric pressure. So obviously the correct answer is A, right? Because for B and C, it is decreasing. And even though D, it may seem a little bit of increasing, but it's below the atmospheric pressure, which is given 101 kilopascal. So the correct answer is A. Number 22, which pathway is followed by air passing into the body? So they give you a series. So you have to start from not a trachea, larynx to trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and into the alveoli. So the correct answer is A. And oxygen is required for aerobic respiration. So you can write the equation. So for the aerobic respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2, and arrow, you will get 6CO2 plus 6H2O. And then they ask you how many molecules of oxygen are required for the aerobic respiration of 3 molecules of glucose. So they ask you 3 molecules of glucose. So one glucose, it's require 6 oxygen, right? So 6 oxygen. So if they ask you about 3 glucose, so let's say I would just write 3 glucose, so it will be 3 into 6, which would be 18. So the correct answer is number D, right? So it will be answer number D. 24, which statement about involuntary response is correct? So it's asking about involuntary correct. So they result in the same response to the same stimulus. They are learned responses. No, not a learned responses. Slower than voluntary. No, involuntaries are faster. They never use voluntary muscles. No, right? Because it's reflex action involuntary. So the correct answer is A. For number 25, the diagram showed the first part of the kidney tubules and the blood supply. During filtration, protein molecules do not pass through the wall of the glomerulus. So which part contain the highest concentration of protein? So they ask you the highest. So the correct answer would be D, right? Because after passing through the glomerular, not some, like urea, water, and everything, they got filtered. So the concentration of protein would be highest at the point D, even though C also contain some amount of protein, but it's still missing with other components like water, urea, and salt. But after filtrations and everything, the concentration of protein get increased, or it becomes the highest when they leave the glomerulus. And number 26 is they ask about the eyes where the vision is the sharpest, right? So the vision sharpest is at the point of C, right? So at C, the point, like at C, the vision would be the sharpest, right? So the correct answer is C. And then number 27, they give you about 3 plants should have their tips removed, and then 2 should contain like agar gel containing, and then you can see the light coming. So as obviously for the number A, it would not like increase the height or it will not bend, right? Because there is no tips, so tips removed. So answer number C and answer number D, it's not correct from the first part. And then as you can see that here, it's contain a lot of oxygen. So obviously it will bend towards the light as well, right? It will bend towards the light. And then for the third one also it contain oxygen and it will also secrete downwards and the tree will bend to the light, right? So the correct answer is A, because for B, the second point is wrong, right? Because it will bend towards the light, not away from the light. And next one, the diagram show a synapse and heroine affect the neuron, which label parts does the heroine directly affect, right? So directly affect. So as we learn from this chapter, the heroine or the other substance chemical, they will go bind and block the receptor so that the normal neurotransmitter cannot bind and perform the function. So here, the protein receptors is labeled C. So you have to choose the answer C. And what is an advantages of self-pollination? So self-pollination, evolution, it's not possible. No, this is not correct because even with the self-pollination over the long run, evolution is possible. Genetic variation cannot occur. No, again, since evolutions can happen, then there can be a variation, but with the cross-pollination, it will be a lot of variation, but self-pollination, we can still see uh, a few range of variation. Isolated individual can reproduce. Yeah, because if they do not, I put it in a simple way, right? If they cannot have a mate or if they cannot have a cross-pollination, with the self-pollination, they can reproduce in the isolated location or with the isolated individual. And it does not require gametes, no, because this is self-pollination, so they stay produced. Pollination means transfer of pollen, right? So it's mean gametes stay require. So the correct answer is C, which features allow the sperms to dissolve the jelly coating of the egg cell. So we study about the structure of the sperm cell and inside the head of the sperm cell, they contain the enzyme, namely acrosome enzyme, right? So the answer is A. The graph showed the relative concentrations of hormones in the blood during 14 to 28 of the menstrual cycle. So it's from 14 to 28, so which means after the ovulation, and which latter represent the hormone progesterone. So I already mentioned, right? So after day 14, progesterone level will increase to able to maintain the uterus lining. And then if the woman or if the girl doesn't get a pregnancy, it will fall down, it will decrease. So as you can see, after day 14, only the graph that is rising or increasing is labeled A. So answer is A. Moving on to question 32. So they show you a diagram show the chromosome in the nucleus of a cell that divide by mitosis, and which diagram show the chromosome in the nucleus of one of the daughter cells produced. So this is by mitosis. So mitosis means genetically identical. So you have to choose the diagram which has the similar like numbers. So A and B obviously is not correct. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 2, 4, 6, 7. So the correct answer is C, right? Because AB is obviously less than the original picture. D, it's similar, but when you count it, it's only have 7. So the correct answer is C. 33, a diploid number for mice is 40 chromosome. How many chromosomes will be in a mouse cells formed by meiosis, right? Meiosis means haploid. So half of the original chromosome number. So 40, half is 20. So the correct answer is B. 34, Which statement is correct? So people who are heterozygous for sickle cell allele has a resistant to malaria. This is correct. And number B, sickle cell anemia is caused by change in the amino acid sequence of the hemoglobin genes. This is not. And then sickle cell anemia is caused by both genetic, no, not both genetics and environment. Sickle cell allele is rare in human no, right? So when there is a lot of malaria, then the population for sickle cell alleles will be very common. So the correct answer is A. And 35, when antibiotics are overused, they become less effective. So which statement is correct? So we talk about antibiotic-resistant bacteria as well, and they are the result of the natural selection, right? So not about the artificial selection. And patients become resistant to antibiotic. It's not the patient, the bacteria itself become resistant to antibiotic, and the antibiotic causes the bacteria to mutate. No, this is not about the antibiotic. An antibiotic does not kill resistant bacteria. Yes, this is correct. So the answer is D. Number 37, it's about the sewage treatment and why is air bubble through the aeration tent, right? So aeration tent mean for the aerobic respiration for the aerobic bacteria. So it's to provide oxygen for the bacteria. So it's already given answer. So to encourage microorganisms to reproduce quickly. So the correct answer is A. 37 give you a food chain. So you can see that greatest amount of energy, obviously, it would start from the producer. So the correct answer is A. Number 38, all organisms share the same genetic code. This means that bacteria can be used to. So we use bacteria to using genetic modification or genetic engineering, right? So to improve the health of the digestive system, not really. Manufacture biofuel. No, not about biofuel. Produce food such as yogurt and cheese. It sounds correct, but it's not about having genetic code, right? We just use bacteria to produce cheese and yogurt just like that, not because we got the same genetic code. And we can make protein using human DNA. Yes, so this is correct because we use bacteria to produce insulin, growth hormones, and other vaccine. And then 39, evidence showed that some aquatic organisms have been feminized, right? So it's mean like the aquatic organisms they become feminine. And what is the most likely cause of this? So increased nitrate, no, not about nitrate. And female hormones excreted by women taking contraceptive pills. Yes, this is correct. Infectious disease in the fish, not about disease. Decreasing level of oxygen, no, not correct. So the correct answer is B. So proceeding to the last questions, what is not a reason for using chemical fertilizers in the food production? So it's not a reason. So they asking not a reason, not a reason. So improving growth rate is a reason we use chemical fertilizer. Improving mineral is the reason, increasing yields and reducing competition with wheat. So the correct answer is D, right? So this is the end of for today practice exam paper review and hope you get this paper. And if you have any questions, you can comment on my video and hope to see you again in next video. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye bye all.